This is a reading of Brenda's blog, titled, You've Always Had Heart. Dear ones, perhaps you're concerned you're not doing enough, or that the earth is not arriving fast enough, or at all. Please stop worrying. Worrying does not increase the speed of the changes, nor does it provide a comfortable life for you or those close to you. All is shifting according to plan. The plan you created with the assistance of beings from multiple universal arenas. You completed your two major New Earth roles, helping the Earth shift and allowing yourself to change from an outer-directed to an inner-directed being. Many of you respond that the daily news is filled with horrors you hoped never to experience in this lifetime. Such is so because the old world is crumbling, but not easily. It is as if the earth is a thick cement wall you must pound over and over again with a giant tool to destroy. The chips in that cement wall are becoming larger chunks, so the pounding is nearly over. Agenda items that were acceptable even a few years ago are no longer. The cry of, "Where is the heart?" is becoming louder. Extreme financial worth, outer-directed power, and glib talk seem less exciting or even worthwhile. "Where is the heart?" is becoming the Earth's demand. Those interested in Earth history may respond that similar thoughts were expressed during many wars and other heartless financial and power-grabbing activities. The difference is those now demanding change are no longer held in tow by an outer-directed society. Similar actions were hinted at by the 1960s flower power movement. In a sense, the 60s were a test of what is happening now. And just as was true 60 years ago, change is inevitable. But it is no longer a test. This is a new world. Allow the messiness necessary for the new world to occur. Just as it is necessary to destroy an unsafe building before building a new. The 1960s were a dramatic test for many of you transitioning during the past few decades. The forerunners of the forerunners. Just as those during the 60s shifted the world, the same is happening now. The difference is, it is permanent now. Social mores, playing it safe, and doing what others want is no longer important for most humans. As a forerunner, your most important role is to relax enough to know that others following you are finalizing what you started. Because the numbers involved in the 1960s flower power movement were limited, the opening forays of your current transition could not expand. The 1960s numbers were large enough to make a splash, end the Vietnam War, and change some sexual and racial patterns, but not large enough to continue until now. This is not a test. Your new reality is what many of you dreamed of and protested for in the 1960s. This heart life is your new world. Perhaps some of you remember how diligently the elders of that time tried to put flower power and all that entailed back into the box. For the most part, they succeeded. Many of you returned to the work world, raised your children, and followed the social rules because those rules were too strong for you to battle on your own. So it is, you reawakened a few months, years, or decades ago to again lead the charge for the heart. This time you are so successful, you can finally rest and enjoy an early retirement. For you have been fighting this war since the 1960s, either internally or externally, even though most of you decided it was easier to fit in than continue the battle. Your fitting in time is over. You completed all you wished to complete for the earth, allowing you the self-care you have ignored for decades. Because you always felt the need for heart actions within, you waged many small battles that injured you internally. Yet you kept saying this or doing that, never completely capitulating. You can rest now. Your global work is complete. It is time to accept and love yourself, knowing that this is a new world of heart. Your battles are over. You have done your job. Now rest. Recuperate. And when you have the energy to do so, begin observing the new world's beating heart. A heart that is loud and overwhelming. Not overwhelming to those of you who have pined for it for decades, but for those who wish to remain fully of 3D. So be it.